Dear friends, this is pandemic period. In fact, the second surge of the pandemic seems to be more difficult, and almost all the sections of the society has been affected by this second surge of the pandemic in India. Among them, when we look at, we see the most affected group is our students, because by nature students are in a growing stage, and on the growth process they need several elements. For example, they need emotional maturity to be developed, certain conducive atmosphere. For example, their peer group company is so important for students' overall growth, psychological growth, even physical growth. Games are a must. Um, to give and take from teachers, students, and companions in the school community is so important for a student. Their emotional and psychological maturity happens when they are together interacting with one another. I think this pandemic, at least for temporarily for some time, has adversely affected the students in this aspect of their lives. Online classes are going on, academic classes are going on, but online classes has its own limitation. Online classes do not give the students an experience of proximity with their teachers, or the peer group support, companionship, and the risk taking attitude in the company of their friends, and also intellectual curiosity, and also in the physical environment of the school as a whole. Of course, there is homeschooling now, use of technology has come in, digital classes, etc. And I'm sure the future of the post pandemic school will be of a blend of all these three. Now, when children are at home with their parents and their brothers and sisters, especially these days, apart from the online classes which our teachers generously give, they also have time to delve deeply into their own lives. St. Ignatius will say, an examination of conscience is very, very important for a student. And this examen will give them discovering their own true potential also, because God has created everybody with innate talents and giftedness. Often we do not discover it. And therefore, my dear students, it's time for you to spend some time discovering your true potential. And what is this? We must encourage each child to become personally, emotionally, socially, and physically effective to lead a healthy, safe, and fulfilled lives. And that is actually the process we have to follow in this pandemic period, when we have enough time at home to spend deeply delving into the depth of your life. And I think parents and my dear teachers, you must help your children to go to an inward journey so that they may come out confidently, independent and responsible citizens, making informed and responsible decisions or choices throughout their lives. They may feel that they are interlinked, they are interconnected and interdependent. They are not a separate entity from one another. So, therefore, we have to cultivate this, and students must take this as a responsibility to create an integral personality. That is what I think these days we must look at. And when we look at this personal growth education, we see three major areas for our students to look into. As students, definitely they have the learning areas. What is learning areas? Learning areas includes personal development, social development, academic development, career development. These are the four areas our students learn as uh, they are students from the classroom, from the teachers, from the elders, etc. And they also have nine important generic skills, which I will explain to you now. And they also have to create values and attitudes in their educational system. And therefore, personally discovering these areas must be their focus. And therefore, personal development, if we take personal development, what are the things students can learn? Number one is self concept. What is the self concept? What do you think about yours? Who are you, or who am I? That question must be there, and you should develop a self concept. And you also self reliance must be created in you, that you should not feel uncomfortable with yourself. You should feel comfortable with you. You must be self reliant. You must accept your ability, capability, your talents, your potentials. And you are also developing self management skills. So this is personal development. And what is the social development in that sense? Social development means respect and acceptance of others. We are living in a society. Nobody can be an independent entity in the world. We are, as political science, when we learn, the first sentence itself is that we human beings are social animals. Therefore, we need to learn to live together in the society. We need to learn to adjust and accomplish our potentials. Therefore, communication skills come in the social development. It is very important. Communication is very important because today we see the lack of communication is the cause for conflicts among nations, among people, among cultures and groups. And therefore, communication skills you must develop. And interpersonal relationship is very, very important. It's not only intrapersonal, interpersonal relationship is important. That is true in your time now at home. Look at, you have to interact with your mummy, your papa, your family, your brothers and sisters. Interpersonal relationship has to extend from the families to the society, to the nation, and to the global uh, arena. And therefore, my dear friends, social skills also gives you, social development also asks you to learn the conflict management, because issues will come, problems are there. We presuppose a lot of problems, and that problems have to be solved. Every stage of our life, we have problems, and that problems have to be overcome. So this is about social skills. And what is academic development for you? Academic development means skills and aptitude that are conducive for you to study well, learn well, and develop an integrated personality. Actually, schools are helping you in that sense. Therefore, and schools, in fact, as APJ Abdul Kalam once says, the purpose of the school is to create a conducive atmosphere for the child to grow and actualize his potentials. Therefore, schools are important. And school life must be pleasurable. School life must be enjoyable. We enjoy games. Children enjoy games. Why? Because that gives them a lot of pleasure. There is a lot of psychological, mental satisfaction along with the physical exercises. And therefore, every school must create that kind of a conducive atmosphere. In fact, that is the purpose of a school. And in the career development, because we are educating ourselves for the future. And therefore, career development is important. What is career development? It's plan for your living. And therefore, you need to create an attitude of your working culture. And also, you have to choose according to your aptitude and your ability the future path. That's called career. Now, I told you we have nine generic skills we need to develop. Number one is your study skills. How do you develop your study skills, which is very, very personal? You cannot have one size fit for all model. And therefore, you must find out what is your study skill and your collaboration skills. As I said already, socially, when we live, we need to learn to interact with people. That's why your teachers, the relationship with your teachers are important. Your peer group interaction is important. And also, along with this, you need to develop your numeracy skills from the beginning itself. Okay. Now that is your approach towards study. And there is also you need to develop analytical skill. Analytical skills. What are the analytical skills? You need to have critical thinking skills. You need to have problem solving skills. You need also to have you need to have communication skills. And this is called analytical skills. What are the organizing skills? For example, self management. If you are a person growing with integrity, you will be able to manage yourself. Self management skills, आत्मनिर्भर, हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, गवर्नमेंट भी बोलते हैं अभी आत्मनिर्भर भारत एक्सेट्रा. सेल्फ रिलायंट, self management skills has to be developed. That is the purpose of education. And also, a lot of innovative spirit must be given. Creativity has to happen. And for that one, you need to have skills developed. That's called technical skills, technological skills, etc. Very, very important. Now, my dear students, academic development is not only simply memorizing and learning something. It is a skill, it is an attitude in effective learning process. It has to be pleasurable. School must give you a lot of satisfaction, and that is the success of the school. Career development, I told you already. Plan for living, working attitude, and so on. So this has to be developed in the school. But remember, along with this, you must develop values. If you do not have values, you will be like a tire without air. You know, a tire without air, it cannot function. It will puncture. So if your life, all other things are there, if you don't have values, your life is not going to be successful. Therefore, values and attitude must be created from the beginning. And what are the core values? Certain values that are commonly or universally emphasized across human societies. These human values or universal values or core values do not have boundaries. It goes beyond territories, beyond regions, cultures, and religions. So, therefore, core values which are acceptable to all human beings. The mere fact that you are a human being, you should have a universal value. And we also have sustaining values in our life. Sustaining values are that what we call relational values. Certain values vary according to the ages and places. That is why even the communities, no, we can say races. And these sustaining values are also important. But core values must be focused. And what are the core values? Your attitude, based on your values, you must create certain attitudes. That is optimistic. You must be optimistic, not pessimistic. You should have also what you call teamwork, participatory feeling. You should be critical, not simply gulping anything that comes in. You need to be creative. Always don't simply walk through the beaten path. You should have your own way of doing things. Creative. Attempt to be creative. You need to appreciate the goodness of the whole world, the whole universe. And also, you must be compassionate. Compassion is a quality of a human being. In fact, that makes you better human beings. And therefore, if you are a human being, you will be caring, you will be concerned about people, especially this pandemic period. We have seen thousands of people are suffering. Dead bodies are floating. The news have come. If you are a person who are caring and concerned, will definitely respond to the situation with a lot of compassion and empathy. And people who are positive people, the value based people will be positive in their entire approach towards life. You should be confident, cooperative, responsible, adaptable to changes, and finally, open minded. And this will help you to develop yourself and also dealing with other people, and your life will be much more qualitatively better, and you will have a fair law in your life, that is always considering other human beings as your brother or a sister, and for the nation or the country and so on, you will follow the rule of law. Therefore, self growth through self potential uh, will happen to you if you develop certain values. Therefore, I'll say two aspects. Teachers, you must help your children, to be motivated, to develop their cognitive sense, also their emotional and social. No, we say head, heart, and also skills must be developed. And it is your duty, my dear teachers, to make children aware of their context, and also create a kind of ability in your students to assess their life every day. They need to evaluate their life. That only you can help them. And students, remember, you also have to do certain things. And what is your role? I will say you need to organize your time, organize your life, create own learning environment. You need to have, don't think that every environment is fits for everybody, fits everybody. No, you need to have your own learning environment. One size fit for all model will not work. You need to have a commitment to life, but that commitment must be balanced commitment. Otherwise, no, it will go extremes. And also, you need to be ready to fail. If you do not want to fail, you will never succeed. Failure is part of our life, and in and through failure, you achieve greatness. Therefore, dare to try new things. And finally, challenge yourself. Do not be complacent with what you do. God has created you to do much, much greater and much better way. And therefore, my dear students, shed your lethargy, laziness, and dissatisfaction, negative attitudes, etc. And think positive. Try to develop your personality and develop a positive value, a set of positive values, and a positive attitude. Bring out your God given potentials and succeed in life. Be a man or a woman for others. Thank you. God bless you all.